Hello, hockey fans. How's everybody doing? There was only two games tonight. Toronto against the New York Rangers in New York. New York pulled out a win. I really liked watching the way New York responded when Toronto scored. I think the Rangers played a great game, and Toronto needs some goaltending. I got that one right. Boston against Chicago. Chicago, Leonard played outstanding. I think they got robbed. There was some missed calls. A terrible whistle, which waved off a Chicago goal. Boston won the game. I went 1-for-1. It was nice to see Chicago get a point, obviously, but I think they should have won that game. That's hockey. On to the next picks. There's quite a few more games, so we'll get right at it. Detroit against Buffalo. Buffalo being 4-6-0 with a current one-game losing streak. Hutton is probable in net for Buffalo. Their last loss was to Colorado 6-1. Against Detroit, who is on a 6-game losing streak. 1-8-1. Howard probable in net. Their last loss was to Philly 3-0. Detroit has a terrible road record along with their terrible overall record. The Sabres lead the season series 2-0. They've won 2-1 and 5-1 recently in January. I don't think Buffalo's playing their best hockey right now, but you got to think it's better than Detroit. So first pick is going to be the home team, Buffalo, to beat Detroit. Game 2, Anaheim against Montreal. Montreal being 7-3-0 with a current one-game winning streak. Price probable in net for Montreal. Their last game was a nice win against New Jersey, 5-4 in a shootout. Against Anaheim, who is 5-5-0 with a current two-game winning streak. Gibson probable in net for Anaheim. They won their last one against Ottawa 3-2, also in a shootout. These teams haven't played each other, but I think Montreal's playing well right now. I'm going to take Montreal, two home teams so far. Montreal to beat Anaheim. Game 3, Pittsburgh against Tampa. I'm really liking this Tampa team. They're 7-2-1 with a current 4-game winning streak. Vasilevsky is probable in net. They're second in the Atlantic, and their last game was a win against Vegas 4-2. Against Pittsburgh, who's 8-2-0, current 2-game winning streak. Jari's probable in net. They're second in the Metropolitan. Their last game was when they beat Washington 4-3. I think that was a matinee game. They're playing well too, but Tampa leads the series 1-0. They won 3-2 back in October. I'm going to take Tampa again. Tampa over Pittsburgh, so 3 home teams so far. Game 4, Vegas against Florida. Florida 7-2-1 with an overtime decision. Bobrovsky is probable in net. They're third in the Atlantic. Their last game was a really tight game against Columbus. They ended up losing in overtime 1-0. Bobrovsky played really well. Vegas is 3-6-1, current one-game losing streak. Fleury probable in net, third in the Pacific. Their last game was a loss to Tampa 4-2. These teams haven't played each other. I'm going to go with goaltending here, and I'm going to go Florida. Florida to beat Vegas. That's pick 4. On to game 5, the Los Angeles Kings against the New York Islanders. The Islanders are 4-3-3 with a current one-game winning streak. Grease probable in net for the Islanders. Their last game was a win over Dallas 4-3 in overtime. Against the Los Angeles Kings, who like Detroit are having a pretty tough go right now. They're 2-7-1 with a current 2-game losing streak. Quick probable in net for Los Angeles. Their last loss was to Washington 4-2. LA surprisingly leads this series 1-0 when they won 4-1 in November. But I got to go with the Islanders here. Another home team, the Islanders, to beat Los Angeles. Game 6, the New Jersey Devils against the Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers 7-2-1, current 2-game winning streak. Elliott has been confirmed to be in net for the Flyers. Their last win was over Detroit, where Elliott had a shootout, actually. They won 3-0. Against the New Jersey Devils, who are 3-4-3 and are the overtime champions, I think 3 in a row now. Blackwood is probable in net for New Jersey. Their last loss was to Montreal 5-4 in a shootout. Flyers lead the series 2-0 with a 4-0 win in October and a 4-3 win in November. Philly, strong home team. Elliott's in his zone. He's playing well. Another home team. I think that's 6 home teams now so far, but I'm going to take Philly to beat New Jersey. Game 7, Colorado against Ottawa. Ottawa joins that group of Los Angeles and Detroit. They're 2-2-6, overtime decision. Hogberg probably in net for Ottawa. Their last loss was to Anaheim, which was 3-2, and it was a shootout. Against Colorado, who's 5-3-2, current one-game winning streak, Grubauer probable in net for Colorado. They're third in the Central. Their last win was over Buffalo, where they dominated and they won 6-1. These teams haven't played each other. I'm going to take my first visiting team here. I'm going to go Colorado to beat Ottawa. Game 8, a rematch of a recent game when Winnipeg beat St. Louis, but Winnipeg against St. Louis in St. Louis. St. Louis 5-4-1, current one-game winning streak. Binnington probable in net for St. Louis. They're first in the Central. Their last win was over Carolina 6-3. Winnipeg 2-7-1. They've been in all their games. I think they're playing good hockey. They're just not closing the door. Overtime decision. Hellebuck probable in net for Winnipeg. Their last game was a loss to Nashville 2-1 in overtime. The Blues are 7-3-0 in their last 10 meetings. They lead the series 2-1. They won the first 2 games, and the Jets won the last one, the recent one, just here in February. But I'm going to go St. Louis at home. St. Louis to beat Winnipeg for pick 8 onto Game 9. Game 9, Vancouver against Minnesota. Minnesota 4-5-1, current one-game winning streak. Dubnyk probable in net for Minnesota. Their last win was over Chicago, 3-2 overtime. Dumba had a beautiful game winner there to give Minnesota that win. Against Vancouver, who are 7-2-1 with a current one-game losing streak. Markstrom probable in net for Vancouver. They're first in Pacific. Their last loss is when they lost 4-0 against Boston. The Canucks lead the series with a 4-1 win in January. I don't know how Vancouver's going to bounce back from a 4-0 loss. Minnesota, I think, is going to have some confidence with that win. You know Dumba's going to have some confidence. I'm going to take Minnesota to beat Vancouver on to Game 10. Nashville against Calgary. Calgary 5-4-1, 2-game current losing streak. Riddick is probable in net for Calgary. Their last loss was to San Jose 3-1. Against Nashville, who are 6-4-0 with a current one-game winning streak. Rene probable in net for Nashville. Their last win was over Winnipeg 2-1 in overtime. The Flames lead the series 1-0 with a win 6-5 back in October. I don't like what I saw from the Flames when they played San Jose. I don't think San Jose is a very good team. And Calgary needs to bounce back, but I just think it might take another game before they figure it out. I'm going to go visiting team here, Nashville to beat Calgary for pick 10. Game 11, Carolina against Arizona. Arizona struggling a little bit. Not because of goaltending, but they're 2-5-3 with a current one-game winning streak. Ranta, last game there is confirmed in net for Arizona. Their last game was a win over Edmonton 3-0, where Ranta had a beautiful 30-save shutout game. Against Carolina, who are 5-4-1, current one-game losing streak. Reimer probable in net for Carolina. Their last loss was to St. Louis 6-3. That was their first of a 4-game road trip. This will be their second road trip, but Arizona being at home, I'm going to take another home team. A lot of home teams here, but Arizona to beat Carolina. On to the last game on the board. San Jose against Edmonton in Edmonton. Edmonton 7-2-1 in their last 10. Current one-game losing streak. Koskinen probable in net for Edmonton. They're second in the Pacific. Their last game was a loss to Arizona 3-0. Against San Jose being 4-6-0, current one-game winning streak. A big part of that was because of Dell. Dell is playing really well in net. Their last game was a win over Calgary 3-1. It's interesting here, too. Edmonton is first in their power play percentage, and San Jose is first in their penalty kill percentage. So it could be a good game. The series is tied. Sharks won 6-3 in November. Oilers won 5-2 in November. Big win for Edmonton, Battle of Alberta, where they beat Calgary. Then they go and lose 3-0 to Arizona. But I'm going to stay with my home team here, and I'm going to take Edmonton to beat San Jose. So we'll just review those picks quick. Buffalo to beat Detroit, Game 1. Montreal to beat Anaheim, Game 2. Tampa to beat Pittsburgh, Game 3. Florida to beat Vegas, Game 4. New York Islanders to beat Los Angeles, Game 5. Philadelphia to beat New Jersey, Game 6. Colorado to beat Ottawa, Game 7. St. Louis to beat Winnipeg, Game 8. Minnesota to beat Vancouver, Game 9. Nashville to beat Calgary, Game 10. Arizona to beat Carolina, Game 11. and Edmonton to beat San Jose Game 12. Hope everyone has a great day. Good luck with your picks, and thanks for watching.